I think there was a time, and it doesn't feel like it was that long ago, where if you had polled a lot of people and said you could start an NFL team with any one player, a lot of them would have said Andrew Luck. Where is that now? And what is your perception of where that is now?
I'm still all in on Andrew Luck. I'll buy up all your Luck stock, but I'll admit, as much as I would be buying it all up, there's probably a little more doubt than I've ever had before. And when he first came in, this wasn't just somebody who was great putting up big numbers. They were actually getting to the playoffs with a Colts team that was a terrible offensive line, could never run the football, and was at best average on defense and sometimes atrocious. So they didn't do a good job around him. But when he was fighting through these injuries, there will be people that understand the game better than I do, Greeny, that, I was talking with on the radio show, would say he's a guy that just started taking too many risks. So some of the turnovers, you can't just blame it on everybody else. You can't just blame it on the injuries. That he had to be a safer quarterback. So as he comes back, and if he truly, truly is healthy, I expect that he's going to be one of those guys again. But you're right, it's not automatic that you would start your franchise with him anymore.
I think he started to take more chances when he realized the support group wasn't around him. I mean, there was almost a record-setting number of games where the Colts didn't have a rusher get 100 yards.
Right.
It was like a couple of seasons.
Right. It went forever. Right. You're absolutely right.
And in his first 3 years, he was 11-5, made the Pro Bowl. Then he started being banged up, having a lot of injuries. As you mentioned, the offensive line was been in shambles. Their defense hasn't been stout. But I agree with you. T.Y. Hilton is an amazing weapon. But even when he comes back this year, they don't have a distinct running back that we know that's going to carry the load. So is he still going to put himself in harm's way to possibly get himself injured again? Because he is a guy that takes a lot of chances.
Look, there's never any certainty with this, and a shoulder for a quarterback is a terrible injury to have, but I've said this repeatedly, and I will continue to. The Colts had the third pick in this year's draft, in a draft filled with quarterbacks, and they chose to trade out of that spot. That's the spot where the Jets took Sam Darnold. So they told you with their actions, they're totally confident and convinced that Luck is coming back, because if they weren't, I can't believe they would have traded out of that spot. They would have been in this is the same franchise that drafted him and moved on from Peyton Manning.
I'll disagree a little bit. Even if you're not 100% on Luck, would you, as a franchise in a new regime taking over in this front office last year, would you invite that kind of weekly white noise by taking a quarterback third overall?
Well, no. If you don't believe that Luck is going to play, then you have to address the position, right? And that's what they did with
play
Manning.
Right. I think I'm seeing it differently.
Well, Luck is either going to play or he's not.
Right.
I don't think there's like an in-between here. I don't think Luck is going to come back and not be good anymore. He's either going to be physically able to play or not. Now, will he be diminished because of the shoulder injury in sort of a similar way to what Chad Pennington was? I guess that's a possibility. But what I'm talking about is I think there was a lot of speculation. You just heard him say that he would never play again at all. And so what I think the Colts told you is they are totally confident that he is going to come back and play.
Or they're really hoping that, you know what I mean? Like, let's just go ahead and hope it works this final year, and we'll have a decision. We'll have an answer to this whole Luck thing by the end of this year.
Yeah, and we'll start to get that answer, as we said, on Thursday. So let me then give it to you this way. So you just pointed it out. He was the first pick in the draft because they were just god-awful, and he took them to the playoffs his first year. He took them to the AFC Championship game.
They won that game in Denver after that. Like, it was happening immediately.
So this now, with him back, in Vegas, they open up at 6.5 and have moved up to 7 wins for their over-under in what I think is an improved division. I don't think it is definitively an improved division. Tennessee made the playoffs last year. Houston, if the quarterback is healthy, is good. Jacksonville is really good. So were you going over or under on 7 wins?
I'm going at 7. Because their first 5 games are key. Cincinnati, at Washington, at Philly, versus Houston, as you mentioned, and at New England. If they can go 2-3, 3-2, then they get over 7. They start 1-4, it's not happening. And they play Houston twice this year.
Yeah, the division
thing
thing
is Jacksonville twice this year, and they both have stout defenses.
Yeah, the division is so much better than it was when they were kind of dominating it.
And even if you want to look at Jacksonville and say, okay, we're 100% sure we know who they are. Do we know that Bortles is going to be this guy again because it's been up and down? You're right to point out the defense, because the defense is solid. Houston, even when they're bad, they're still a 500 team because of that defense.